Of Chillin with Da Pool. That's right, we are back with another brand new book review. And, yep, you heard correctly, we'll be interviewing some. This time, you'll find this one to be most interesting. Hint, hint, hint. Behold! Behold! The newest the series called Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. It's not surprising considering this it's actually focused on Mary Jane Watson. Yeah, and you'll notice that the art style has a bit more anime to it. For more context on the story, it takes place in an alternate reality that centers around Mary Jane Watson, the main predominant love interest of Spider-Man. Now, I know that she's been getting a bit of a bad rap in most modern iterations lately, but for the times that she isn't the main love interest, man, they sure get her character just so right. You can see Spectacular Spider-Man as proof of that. So yeah, within this story actually came out in 2005. Can you believe this? This is 19 years old, and already the writing here actually holds up. So let's take a look and see what we have in store. As you can see here, the pages have a bit more anime style, you know, featuring the eyes, the art style, you know, the color palette, and pretty much everything that goes along with it. Yep, this is they even have a little bit of this right over here in Mary Jane #1. Now, if you ask me, I think that the 2017 Spider-Man would have definitely benefited from this kind of art style, as well as a bit more shading here and there. And if they'd used some of Patrick Brown's art styles from his promotional material, then yeah, this would have actually knocked it right out of the park. And I know this is probably just a different opinion, and I think that I'm kind of tired of the shows, the Spider-Man shows, always focusing on Peter Parker. It's like, okay, after a certain point we get it, we know his origins, and I know it's for the next generation of Spider-Man fans, but seriously, just give it a rest already. Yeesh. Yeesh, you know, if they focused on someone like, I don't know, say Spider-Gwen, you know, Miles, Silk, Penne Parker, Miguel O'Hara. I mean, hell, Spider-Man Unlimited was pretty much had everything needed and necessary for Miguel O'Hara's show, but they had to drop him as the main character because, you know, because of DC's Batman Beyond and everything. But, I mean, come on, Miguel O'Hara would have been perfect for Spider-Man Unlimited or just Spider-Man 2099. Yeesh. Anyway, let's minor rant aside. Let's jump right into some of the stories here. In the first issue of Mary Jane #1, MJ is convinced by Liz to probably go out with her longtime best friend Harry, and in this reality, MJ and Harry are kind of the close ones, along with Flash and Liz Allen. And unfortunately, this variant of Liz Allen is, well, let's just say hot-tempered, to say the least. It even says, "One point, I sir, you're evil, love you too." You can tell these two are such friends. You can tell that these two have been friends for quite a while. So. Yeah. Harry, of course, likes to takes MJ out on these surprisingly expensive dates. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's rude or anything. He's just he's not very considerate in regarding MJ's financial status. It's actually part of the reason why she tries to get a job, you know, to compete with Harry's financial portfolio. Harry doesn't mind most of the stuff, and I don't blame him for not minding it. He's kind of used to it at this point, and it's not that he takes offense to it at all. He just wants to do he likes to do what's best for his dates. You know, I mean, what girl wouldn't want a guy to pamper her every so often? But unfortunately, as you can tell from this panel, MJ feels kind of emasculated, so to speak, financially speaking. She kind of feigns it in every so often, but yeah. On her way back from the date, she gets caught in the crossfire between a battle between Spider-Man and Electro. I mean, you can tell his mask kind of looks more electric eel than starfish, which I guess is kind of fitting considering he's an electric-based supervillain and all. And he's after Electro gets webbed up and left hung to dry for the cops, MJ ends up developing more of a crush on Spider-Man. Even finding out where she lives and everything, so he kind of bolts and everything, so, yeah. And, of course, we all know this guy, right here, with the spiky hair and glasses, this is Peter Parker. A much more mildly handsome, and even more mildly mannered, high school bookworm. And everything. And, of course, you got Liz Allen. I think this variant is more feisty, hot-tempered, brash, and, hot-tempered. She's definitely to say that she's a lot would be an understatement. And everything. Hey, I thought I was the only one that's hot-tempered and brash. You are Deadpool. Now let's now move out of the way so I can finish so I can continue with the rest of this work. Oh, come on. Now. Yeah, fine. Sorry. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, anyway, MJ decides that she wants Spider-Man to be her homecoming date. Okay, and on a side note, I may be an older comic book fan, but just reading these teen dramas that were focused back in the high school days is just so hilarious. I mean, it's just to look back on it and say, "Wow, you can't believe this never happened at my high school, and it sure as hell didn't happen at this happen, and it probably wouldn't have happened at any other high schools. But in case your experience actually did, then congratulations, your life's pretty much is pretty much material needed for a comic book." Okay, first of all, yeah, I do. Okay, I heard that comment say, yes, I do, and I have talked to a real person. I talked to a lot of real people, a lot. So I pretty much have an avid social life, so thank you for the piece of advice. I'll be sure to take that into consideration. Troll. But yeah, anyway, she basically, the thing I like about this MJ is that she rides a train, so I'm pretty much an avid train lover, and the fact that she rides this one, I mean, look at this shot going across the, I don't know, Manhattan Bridge, so it's just, I think it's just so cool. I've never actually ridden this kind of train over Manhattan, nor do I live there, but it seems pretty nice. And the fact that she goes department store shopping with Liz, you definitely can tell that this is playing with dolls. Hey, first of all, they're not dolls, they're action figures. There is a big difference, and it's not like you don't have any that you play with, huh? Well, guess so yeah, I got them for a bargain over at Ren's yard sale for $15. Yeah, troll. Any hooser. They basically go on back and forth and enjoy their time together, and of course they end up going to Kona. My girlfriend's oh good, now we got this guy coming back on. Anyway, my girlfriend's pretty much on Instagram. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't have to answer that. I already didn't have to answer that, especially from the likes of you. Let's see. Yes, here. But now, anyway, Harry just takes her out for onward. What's this? Okay, definitely. Okay, that's pretty creepy and disgusting. Anyway, Harry takes MJ out for several dates, and the more that he does, the more she feels financially emasculated by him. You know, it's one of those things. And as a wise man once okay, that one was pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, he says that there really is no right or wrong. As Patrick Star used to say on the show on SpongeBob, there really is no right or wrong when it comes to this sort of stuff. There either is or there isn't. So it's just one of those things that happens. Oh yeah, and apparently they're also friends with Flash Thompson in this reality, who, and believe it or not, is actually, what the hell is this? Okay, great, another bombardment control. Anyway, MJ decides to work off the oh yeah, she bought this just at the mall, and unfortunately she can't afford it, so she tries a string of all these different jobs to try to keep up. But unfortunately, the teacher. Anything. Anyway, the teacher here, unfortunately, does not appreciate Mary Jane's lack of focus in class, especially since her grades are declining. But then again, that's pretty much what happens when you try to work a job during high school and everything. You lose track of all of your friends, your grades start slipping, and then it's like you got to pick one. Apparently, you can either work a good job or you get good grades in school, but apparently you can't do both. And to those who actually can make it work, congratulations. You have my respect. All right, we're definitely gonna jump ahead a little bit. Here we go. Yup. MJ wants to try to wear this dress to the homecoming. and everything. I think this would have made a thing. To be honest, I think this series would actually made a good, YouTube series and everything. Just get the right cast. Have it set in 2005. I mean, it could work. I mean, and stuff like that. So yeah, she tries and she wants to get it to the department manager says that she could put it on a layaway plan and everything, but she doesn't have any money. So apparently, layaway plans. That's pretty interesting. Anyway, the department store manager takes sympathy on MJ and decides to offer her a part-time job while one of their employees is out on maternity leave. So MJ, not wanting to waste an opportunity, decides to decides to take the opportunity and apply for a job. Oh yeah. And apparently, speaking of trolls, there are these two practical jokers that love playing tricks on MJ, and they're not necessarily the funny kind either. Flash wants to go and put those two in her place, but unfortunately, Liz chokes and pulls his leash a bit, and not in a sexy way either. I mean, the inner relationship and not wanting you to do something stupid out of sincerity of impulse. And everything. It's like, oh yeah, he may not have much going on upstairs, but he's as loyal as it comes. And unfortunately, Flash Thompson. Now, the way that Liz is talking, you'd say she means this endearingly, but I think Flash is taking it a little bit more personally. And normally I wouldn't feel sorry for Flash Thompson, because if you've read some of the earlier editions, Flash Thompson has always been portrayed as an ass. Pompous, self-important, thinking he can get away with any of his bad behavior because he's the star quarterback. He's the top dog at Midtown High. Nerds on bookworms like Harry Osborn or Peter Parker should respect him at all costs. And everything. So yeah. But it's moments like these that actually turn Flash from a normally despicable character into someone that actually has real feelings. And besides, after the way that Liz treats him, even though it's kind of like, I don't know, I'm gonna say borderline grooming or anything, but you kind of feel bad for the guy. So yeah, now basically, let's see, we're gonna flip ahead some more, and oh yeah, here it comes. Basically, Flash Town, where comes relationships, there also ends up coming the trouble in paradise. Especially when Liz is threatening Flash, saying that if he goes and fights off those two practical jokers, he won't be quarterback, and he'll be kicked off the team, and thus lose the title of Homecoming King. And Flash, normally like most of the guys, really don't care about this kind of crap. It's only the girls that do. And as you can see, this variant of Liz Allen, unfortunately, is very, very quick to temper. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You can tell this movie was in 2005 because you can see this the movie Shrek is in the background, which from 2005 to 2001, this is only 4 years old. God, man, God makes you feel so old now. I mean, this book was written in 2005, and they have a few references to Shrek, which is still a pretty good movie. I'm not dissing it. But Harry and MJ they kind of seem like a bit of an odd pairing and everything. I mean, they have a lot in common. They both have dads that are kind of pieces of crap and everything, and they try to be the lives of the party, even though sometimes they aren't and everything. But yeah, I can see them more as friends, more of a brother and sister sort of thing. It's might seem, I don't know if you ship them like that, but I actually see them as just a brother and sister sort of thing. It's not easy with that sort of thing, you know? MJ tries to talk with Liz, but unfortunately Liz is having none of it, so... Oh yeah, and but luckily Flash ends up teaching these practical jokers a lesson. Which isn't? Well, you'll have to pick up the book at your local comic book store to find out more. Just kidding. I'll actually just give you the one right over here. So Flash ends up threatening someone who one of the practical jokers, and it turns out that he actually has a crush on MJ. As Flash decides to take pity on him out of genuine sympathy. This moment right here gives this variant of Flash a moment of actual sympathy, and it kind of dives somewhat a bit deeper as to why he's such a cocky, pompous a-hole all the time. He actually just wants to be genuinely loved for who he is, and he doesn't have to keep impressing Liz just to actually do it. I know that she picks on him endearingly, like I said, but in this instance, Flash is starting to grow tired of it. And if you read further into the pages, you surprisingly feel bad for the guy. But yeah. And that's not the... Speaking of crushes with MJ, apparently he also... Flash also seems to develop a crush on MJ himself, as he's been doodling her image and love notes in his notebook. Classic high school stuff. And a few in college, too, so... that's pretty much something. So yeah, okay. Now we're gonna really flash forward ahead to, let's see. Oh yeah, this is where it really starts to come in. So this is where shit really starts to hit the fan. Liz unfortunately sees Flash talking with another girl on the opposing cheerleading squad, and she really lets off steam. I mean, if you thought Sally Averill from Spectacular Spider-Man was hot-headed, this variant of Liz Allen will give her a run for her money, and pretty much starts picking on her and very defensive and all sorts of things. Oh man, it's you're gonna replace she says, "You're gonna replace me, aren't you?" And then she storms off in a huff. So yeah, like I said, hot-tempered, brash, defensive, well, easily offended, and more or less socially inconsiderate. In a way, this variant of her is kind of a jerk, and all sorts of things. It's only made even worse when she sees Flash Thompson hugging Aunt Mary Jane, her best friend. She's unfortunately jumps the gun and assumes that Flash is acting on the crush that he wrote on in his notebook. So yeah, from this kind of perspective, it does look pretty bad, but in a way, it's not really. Not really. MJ was just trying to comfort him. And in this universe, she and Flash have been friends since like middle school. Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker pretty much barely exist in this reality, or at least partially. She begins to fantasize in class, and then she and Harry pretty much a relationship is pretty much on the rocks. So yeah, I kind of like the artwork over here. It kind of conveys the emotion of what the author was just trying to tell from these teenage dramas and everything. Or as Kim Possible would say, so not the drama. But remember when I said about Peter Parker not existing in this reality? Well, actually, that was kind of a mistake. He actually does exist, but as a supporting background character. You can tell he's not that bad. He's actually close to being a realistic friend. He only just gets picked on because of the bookworm stereotype and everything. And stuff like that. So you kind of feel bad for... Oh yeah, and of course then there's with Liz Allen and everything. Okay, to be honest, these kind of teen dramas, they get interesting after a while, but it seems to be dragging on with the least amount of stuff. Let's see. Let me see if I can just skip ahead to this next one. And we'll be right back after this commercial break. We'll flash forward ahead a few chapters later, and unfortunately, Mary Jane auditions for the drama club. She gets the part, but unfortunately, Lindsay Layton, yeah, gotta love the Stan Lee-based alliteration here. Anyway, she secretly is jealous and decides to get back at MJ for supposedly stealing her part. Of course, her friend says to go out with Peter Parker, but then she says, "Ew, seriously, Krista, Parker's nothing but a loser." Okay, first of all, ouch. Parker is the furthest thing from a loser. In fact, the only loser I'd see is this broad right here. Yeah, that's her. This variant of Peter has actually become a good friend. In fact, the way now that I'm looking at it, I think he is actually the non-love interest that actually works better with it. You know, he is in Spectacular MJ. He is in the exact same place Spectacular Spider-Man's MJ was in her debut, kind of acting as a supporting role background character. You know, not as much stress, not a spotlight. He can, just be cool and casual, and I kind of like that. I like it when certain that were once main characters now end up being into the spotlight, but at least it shows that they're still alive, and it shows that there's not too much pressure on them. Unfortunately, Lindsay doesn't feel the same way, so she ends up going out with Harry just to try to make MJ very, sad and everything. It's just so petty. So she got the role. Big deal. I mean, there's always next year and everything. But they don't call Lindsay Lawton the drama queen for nothing. And that, unfortunately, is where things really start to get out of hand. Peter and Harry talk while Lindsay and MJ talk, and stuff just kind of just snowballs away from there. Oh yeah, and when eventually Peter tells Liz about this, and being the good friend she is, actually rightfully confronts her about it. And apparently, and let's see, it says that oh yeah, and you can definitely, this line right here says tells a lot about this variant of Liz's character. Remember how I was going to clean your clock but was struck by a rare moment of sympathy? Yeah, rare moment of sympathy. You mean this implies that this is not the first time that Liz has done something like this before. And of course you can tell Lindsay is definitely afraid of her. So she threatens Lindsay to dump Harry Osborn and to be nice to MJ, but without saying another word. Otherwise, she will hunt her down and, of course, probably beat her with a wet noodle. Or something just as bad, if not worse. Harry and as you can tell, the high school dramas continues on. Harry storms off in a huff, and Peter decides to pay MJ a visit. And who, as you may ask? Why, none other than your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man to help cheer MJ up. So yeah, that's pretty much Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane. You know, there's a whole series of this. Hang on a sec. And we're back. This important message from these important messages. But yeah, anyway, this is and that's pretty much Spider-Man Loves Mary Jane, or better yet, Mary Jane Loves Spider-Man. It's a whole series that basically just focuses on her, and I kind of like it, especially. I mean, they got the high school drama element going for her. You got the mix of the minor superhero thing going around here and there, and the art style I think is definitely significantly better than the last one that I got. So I mean, it doesn't deter too much from the story, but it's definitely kind of jarring in a way and stuff. So yeah, this is Spider-Man Loves MJ. You can pick it up on Amazon or to wherever online comic books are sold. Alright, and that just about does it for this week's episode of Chillin' With Da Pool, True Believers. Yep, True Believers. And tune in again next time when we review a brand new, this time when we jump ship towards the DC side of comic books. What is it, you may ask? Well, you'll just have to wait to find out more. Until next time, True Believers, Excelsior!